به أجمعين رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. So today we're doing major sin 48, which is making statues and pictures. Let's see this. So here it says making statues and pictures on cloth, stones, coins, or anything else out of wax, iron, copper, wood, or anything else. And the command is to destroy them. So Allah Most High says in Surah Al-Ahzab, translation says, Surah Al-Ahzab, ayah 57, translation says, Allah will curse those who malign Allah and His Messenger in this world and the hereafter, and will prepare shameful torment for them. Ikrimah said, those are the people who make statues or pictures. In a hadith, Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu reported that Allah's Messenger said, on the day of resurrection, those who make pictures will be punished. They will be told, bring to life what you have created. And this hadith can be found in Bukhari and Muslim. Then Aisha radiallahu anha, she reported that while the Prophet ﷺ was out on a journey, I draped the alcove of my house with a curtain having pictures on it. When he returned and saw it, I could discern that his face colored and he was displeased. And he said, "O Allah, the most severely punished on the day of resurrection will be those who try to create something similar to what Allah has created." Aisha said, so I cut the curtain and made it 2 cushions, Bukhari and Muslim. You know what's interesting when I read this was I thought about, one time I heard this teacher said, she said, you know, like what if Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam knocked at your door early morning and spent the whole day with you, right? She said, how would you change? Would you show him your house? Would you welcome him right away? Or will you be ashamed and say, Ya Rasulullah, just give me 1 minute so that you can fix your house, take the pictures down, put the music out, and like, what would you do? What are the changes that you'll make inside your home? And to be comfortable to welcome Rasulullah inside your home. And then throughout the day, would you introduce Rasulullah to your friends, or would you be too ashamed to introduce him to your friends? So it was just such a really good question, right? Because it made you check yourself. And so when I read this hadith of Aisha radiallahu anha, and how Rasulullah was so upset when he saw that curtain because there were some pictures on it. And she immediately, you know, took it down to try to cut it and make cushions. I just thought of that. I just thought of, you know, how, subhanAllah, as Muslims, can we feel comfortable even welcoming Rasulullah in our homes, subhanAllah. So Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu reported Allah's Messenger as saying, every maker of figures will be in the fire, and every picture he draws will be made into a soul to be tormented in the fire of hell, Bukhari and Muslim. And this is really scary because in Africa, there's a whole African art that's all about making statues. And a lot of those statues are made in countries majority Muslims. So what I'm saying is the people making these statues and stuff like that, they could definitely be Muslims. So it's very scary. May Allah save us. Ibn Abbas also reported that he heard the Prophet ﷺ say, on the day of resurrection, any person who has made a statue or a picture in this world will be asked to blow life into it. But he will never be able to do that, Bukhari and Muslim. Because what happened is, like, what is so displeasing is as if we are trying to, Allah is the creator. And it's as if we are trying to compete with Allah in creation. Like, oh, Allah created the human, the features. So it's like we competing. We also trying to create a human. So it's very displeased to Allah. And so on the day of resurrection, then the person, Allah will tell the person, go put life into that statue. Go into that picture, right? In another hadith reported by Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, the Prophet said, Allah the Almighty, the Glorious says, who does greater wrong than the one who tries to create like my creatures? What I was just saying, right? This is the hadith actually. Let them create a grain, a little hair, or an atom. Subhanallah. And people are doing that. Don't they, creating wigs and stuff like that? Allahu Akbar. This hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported Allah's Messenger sallallahu as saying, on the day of resurrection, a bundle of fire will spread out, saying, I am concerned with three types of persons. The one who associates something with Allah, the one who is a stubborn tyrant, and the one who makes figures and pictures. So the fire, so Rasulullah is saying on the day of Yawm al-Qiyamah, the fire is gonna be saying he wants three people. He's gonna focus on three people. The one who made shirk, the one who did shirk, the one who was a tyrant, stubborn tyrant, and the one who makes figures and pictures. Let us say this. Allah's Messenger said, the angels do not enter a house wherein there is a dog or a figure. Bukhari and Muslim. I need to send this hadith. I was looking for this hadith. I kept procrastinating. There was this Muslim family. I was teaching how to read Qur'an, and they have a dog in their house. And I said I was going to send them this hadith. I told them that I keep forgetting. So now I don't have any excuses right here. Commenting on this and some similar hadith, Khattabi says, only the angels of mercy and blessings are meant here, not the guardian angels. You know, the Kiram and Katibin, they are with you no matter what, because they're there to write down, right? So the guardian angels, they are there to write. But the angels of mercy and blessings, those that, you know, when you read Qur'an, when you remember Allah, how they come down, they make dua for you, they circle you. These, they don't enter houses where there is a dog or pictures. You know, going back to the hair, I remember something. Where I go swim, you know, I think I told some of you guys, because the time I go is women only, and it's mostly Jewish women, right? So if they didn't lock the locker, when you open the locker, it's nothing but wigs, because the Jewish women, that is their hijab. The hijab, that's not hijab decreed by their books, by the way. No, their hijab decreed by the books, by their book, is like our hijab. It's a scarf, it's a hijab. But because modern times, so they don't, instead of wearing the hijab, instead of wearing the scarf, they will wear the wig. Because why? They say the most important thing is that the men that are not their family members should not see their real hair. Shaitan is busy, sisters. So basically, instead of wearing the scarf, they wear the wigs. So all of them, like, because most of them are old women that are coming to that swimming class. So the full changing room is full of wigs. SubhanAllah. So when I was looking for a free locker, I opened, I see a wig. I opened, I see a wig. It's kind of funny, but at the same time, it's kind of scary, because you know that how they deviated from their laws. I remember There's a neighborhood in Atlanta called Briarcliff. I used to live there, and it's a Jewish community. And on Saturday, that's their day. That's the day of their worship. Saturday evening, I would see them, all of them, like walk to the temple, and I would see women with black scarves on their heads. And that's when I realized that their hijab is like our hijab. It's a scarf. But those who are not following their book closely, they will they will wear the wigs instead. Let's say this. The Muslim is required to obliterate statues and figures, meaning the Muslim is required to destroy statues and figures if he's able to do so. And Hayyan bin Hussein reported Ali. That reminds me, subhanAllah, let me just be quiet. Hayyan bin Hussein reported Ali ibn Abu Talib as saying to him, "Shall I not convey to you what the Prophet told me? Do not leave an image without destroying it, and do not leave a raised grave without leveling it with earth." So we ask Allah to guide us to what is pleasing to Him. Indeed, He is the generous and the magnanimous. So if you are able to, you are supposed to actually try to destroy it. So it just reminded me of a loved one that loves African art and had so many statues and masks in her house. But because she's sick, and it's so funny, the sickness, she cannot stand to look at them. It disturbs her, like it scares her, and she cannot stand to look at them. So herself, she started like turning them around. It's so funny. Like she would, if there's a picture of people, like she would turn the frame so she doesn't see it, or turn the mask, she doesn't see it. So with that, and because of her sickness, my husband and I, we started taking the statues one by one. There's still some though left. I'll make it easy. Okay, major sin 49. Lamenting, wailing, tearing the clothing, and doing other things of the sort when an affliction befalls. But that's major sin 49. So when you're grieving. Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu reported Allah's Messenger sallallahu as saying, the person who slaps his or her cheeks, tears the front of the garment, and cries out with the crying of the pre-Islamic days of ignorance does not belong to us, Bukhari and Muslim. So I have to clarify something, because I heard a sister say she was telling someone, don't cry. No, it does not say you're not crying when you lose somebody. It does not mean you cannot cry. Yaqub alayhi salam cried, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam cried. So we can't say that crying is forbidden. So we have to be careful. So it's not, no, don't cry. No. Let them cry. What is forbidden is to yell, roll yourself in the ground, tear your clothes, slap your cheeks. These type of show, that is what is haram, actually. So I'm just going to make sure that it's understood. Abu Musa al-Ash'ari radiallahu anhu reported Allah's Messenger as saying, I have nothing to do with a woman who wails or shaves her head or tears her clothing in mourning. That is in Bukhari and Muslim. Atiyah said that Allah's Messenger took a pledge from women that they will not wail. Wail is like when you scream, like when you do some people, even they hire people to do that. They pay them to do that. Some people too, like I was telling you guys one time in another book that we were doing, I think it was the book on the plots of Iblis, how I went with these family members of mine, and in the cab on our way to the place, they're laughing and talking, and we're all talking, really laughing and talking, all the way to when we got in front of the house. And these women I was with, they started, whoa, and I just looked at them. I said, because we were talking, like, for me, at the time, I was not in my deen. I did not know it was haram. But I just felt it was so hypocrite. Like, this was not sincere. This was not coming from they cannot just turn on and off their emotions like this, right? But they thinking they're doing something good. And because I told them, I said, why are you guys doing this? And they're like, oh, you don't know. This is a way of showing, that we are with them. I said, mm-hmm. At the time, I didn't like it. And I didn't even know that it was not, that it was haram. But I just thought it was not good. Because I felt like you're not helping them. You're not helping them, actually. Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu reported Allah's Messenger as saying, there are two kinds of people who have a trace of kufr, of unbelief. Those who taunt others concerning the lineage, and those who wail for the dead. Okay, that's very serious. Meaning you have a trace of kufr. That's serious. So those who taunt others concerning their lineage, meaning they tell people they're better than them because of their lineage, because of who their fathers were, what kind of family they're coming from, and those who wail for the dead. Abu Sa'id al-Khudri said that Allah's Messenger ﷺ has cursed the wailing woman, meaning we talked about that, and the one who listens to her. And in the time of the Quraysh, actually, there used to be professional wailing women, and they would do that for price. And not only wail, they will not only, but they will also like praise the dead. Oh, they used to do this. Oh, they used to do that, right? They used to be this way. They used to be that way. And then, and they will do it professionally, meaning it was a job. Okay, so let me turn around. Move on. Let's skip this one. It says here, Abdullah bin Umar radiallahu anhu reported Allah's Messenger as saying, the dead person will be punished in his grave for the wailing of the living for him. Bukhari and Muslim. I know there's a difference of opinion about the understanding of this. I don't know if they're going to talk about it here. Because Aisha, radiallahu anha, she actually contested that hadith. I don't know if he's going to mention it here. Maybe he didn't. Okay. Abu Musa radiallahu anhu said that he heard Allah's Messenger saying, if anyone dies and the professional mourner stands up to say, alas for the mountain, alas for the oh, subhanAllah, we have to be careful with that. So basically this hadith is saying that if someone dies and then you say, oh, for the mountain, oh, for the master, oh, for such and such, Allah will put two angels in charge of him, will beat him on the breast and ask him whether he really was like that. So you're praising somebody, you're giving them, they were not really that way. They were not that way, but you just keep overpraising them. Allah's Messenger said in another hadith, if the wailing woman does not repent before her death, on the day of resurrection, she will be made to stand wearing a garment of pitch and a shirt of tar. That's in Muslim. In fact, I was prohibited from listening to two stupid and wicked sounds. The sounds expressing sensual desires in parties, which are related to the worship of shaitan, and the sounds at the time of calamity, namely the tearing of garments and slapping of cheeks, which are shaitan's clamor. SubhanAllah. They say there's another hadith that says those wailing women, they're going to form two rows in the fire and they're going to bark like dogs bark at the people of hellfire. It says here that Umar ibn al-Khattab heard the sound of wailing coming from a house. Then he entered it, and with him were some other people. He made his way until he reached a professional wailing woman and started hitting her. And he says she is a professional mourner. She has no honor. She does not mourn because of your sorrow. Rather, she sheds tears to snatch your money. Truly, she is enduring your dead in their graves and your living in this world, because she prevents you from being patient, whereas Allah has commanded it, and she commends you to well, whereas Allah has forbidden it. That's beautiful, actually. Meaning Allah has commanded us to be patient, but this person is like preventing you from being patient, because she's like screaming. She's gonna push you to also like cry too much, because she's like doing it so much, and then she commends you to wail when Allah has, told you not to wail. Scholars have said crying quietly and calmly without wailing is halal. What is prohibited is to raise the voice while crying. Okay, so that's pretty much what I was saying at the beginning. So we can't say to someone, don't cry, if they're, if tears are coming and they're grieving. Trying to see if I should read this. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna read this. Abdullah bin Umar said that when Sa'ad bin Ubadah was ill, Allah's Messenger ﷺ came to visit him, accompanied by Abdurrahman bin Auf. Let's talk about him yesterday. Sa'ad bin Abi Waqqas and Abdullah bin Mas'ud. On seeing bin Ubadah, the Prophet ﷺ began to cry, to weep, and when other people saw him weeping, they also wept. He ﷺ then said, listen, Allah does not punish for the tears which the eye sheds or the grief which the heart experiences, but He punishes for this, pointing to His tongue, or shows mercy. So He either, depending on what you're going to say. So really, this is why I advise my sisters, if you're going through a lot of pain, just keep saying Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. Because this is really, it's like medication, number one. Number two, it will help you not to say something that will be displeasing to Allah. Because it's not that you can cry, you can shed your tears, but you're not supposed to say anything where you're going to end up having punishment. Allah is going to be displeased with you. You may be screaming, you may be saying something that, oh, why is this happening to me? Why is Allah doing, you're going to say something that's going to put you in trouble. So the best is if you say, Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un, subhanallah, do you know that Allah will ask the angels about you? And then because the angels will say, she said, Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un, Allah will tell the angels to build a house of praise for you, Baytul Hamd. So really, saying that when you're feeling pain and facing a loss is really something you want to do, inshallah. You want to hold on to that. It says here that Usama bin Zayd radiallahu anhu reported that Allah's Messenger sallallahu lifted up his grandson, the son of his daughter Zainab, who was dying, and his eyes overflowed with tears. Sa'ad bin Ubadah, who was accompanying him, said, "What is this, Messenger of Allah?" He replied, "This is compassion, which Allah has placed in the hearts of His servants. Allah shows mercy to the compassionate people of His servants." That's in Bukhari and Muslim. Another hadith in Bukhari and Muslim, Anas radiallahu anhu reported that when Allah's Messenger sallallahu went to visit his son Ibrahim at the time of his death, tears began to drop from his eyes, at which Abdurrahman bin Auf said to him, "You too, Messenger of Allah?" He said, "Ibn Auf, this is only compassion." Then he shed more tears and said, "The eyes weep and they grieve, but we only say what our Lord is pleased with." and we are grieved at being separated from you, O Ibrahim. You know, this is such a beautiful hadith to me. I love it. I really love it. And I try to remember that, when I hear about somebody's death that's close to me, I try to remember this hadith. Like, we only say what Allah is pleased with, right? We are grieved at being separated from you. So, yeah. I think I'm going to stop here. We'll continue next week on the chapter on patience. It's still part of Major Sin 49. It's already 6:57. Do I have any questions or comments? Oh, yeah, there are a lot.
Assalamualaikum, sister. Assalamualaikum. Okay, the picture taken is you mean is the status like the one Jamaican. What about now the pictures that you take, like this regular pictures?
So that there is a difference of opinion with the what I want to say is, like, the safest opinion is to stay away from even the pictures that we take of people. Like, you can take pictures of things, but not of people, or where you see their eyes and stuff. Or you can't take let's see, pictures of animals. I mean, those that have life in them. That's the strongest opinion. Because why? The other opinions say no, it's not the same. This is like digital, this and this and this. But this, honestly, some major scholars, they say, the only picture you are allowed to have is like your ID, like a small picture of your ID for necessity, and that's it. So I know someone, for instance, they prefer to do video than picture. Like, they'll do video and then they will delete it later on, but they will not do pictures of themselves, or stuff like that. So yeah, and then that's if you don't hang it, right? But if you hang it, no, that from that point, there's almost no difference of opinion. Hanging pictures of human on your walls and stuff like that, it's not allowed.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
How are you, sister? So if you hang it, that's when the angels will not come inside your house. That's what you're saying, right?
Right.
Oh, okay.
That's actually one opinion. But like I'm saying, like the strongest opinion, they even say don't even keep any pictures in your house. Like even those that are not hung on the wall. I'm saying the more liberal opinion is saying you can keep it, but in like album, like not hung. Does that make sense?
Okay.
Like not hung on the wall. Definitely the hung on the wall, nobody that I know, as far as the major scholars, said it was okay. And I know, because I did a lot of research on that, because it was a major fitna for me. My whole house was filled with pictures. I took all the pictures down years ago. And so before I did that, I did a lot of research on it. Right? And so the safest, and I cannot, subhanAllah, the peace I felt when I did that, I can't even explain it, sisters. I felt so much peace in my home. And to tell you the truth, my mom came the next day and I said, Mom, is there anything different in my house? And she said, she didn't realize what I did, but she said, I don't know, but it's just so peaceful. She's like, it's so peaceful. I don't know, what did you do? She couldn't remember what I did, and I told her I took all my pictures out, and she said, oh yeah. And she's not even Muslim. felt the
Yeah,
same.
that's so true, sister. Because me, I used to have a lot of pictures, and before I move in here, I used to have a lot of pictures. But when I started my being, and
Mm-hmm.
I find out about hanging, especially what got me scared, knowing that the shaitan will use that,
Mm-hmm.
and I will not be, and the angels of mercy will not come down. So I have a lot of fitna to take them out too, because there are some people that really like them hanging. But
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Mm-mm, I have to fight whatever I have to do, but no pictures hanging." So I don't have no picture hanging in my house. I do have them in the album. So that's the thing I want to find out. If that one is wrong too, they are ready to go. They are ready to go. They need to get ready, because it don't make no sense. Sometimes you want to have like souvenir of the kids and all that. Sometimes make I say my thing. I want to know how they grow. But if that's another fitna for you to be called by one of the fire, right? That's what the sheikh say, right? One of the fire will be calling three
Yeah.
people that make
Now
start with.
they would the picture taking,
Mhm.
no, the calling of the woman that well, they would bark in the fire. Is that what you're saying?
No, there's a fire that will be calling a tyrant, a Judah.
Oh yeah, yeah. The fire is
Yes,
gonna be focusing
yeah,
on three types,
three
and that's
types.
one of the three types.
Mm-hmm. Allah save us.
Yeah, I mean, Ya Rabbi. I mean,
And I wanted to comment something on the crying. The same thing that happened to you happened to me 2 years ago. Me and my sister, we went to the somebody, the father passed away. All this time he wasn't crying. As soon as we reached there, she started crying, so like crying, and the light was on her face. When she put her head up, there's no tears coming.
mm,
I said, Subhanallah, what is this? And
wallah.
and the tears was in her eye, but she was like crying. Well, like African women.
Mhm.
She cried, so she got everybody emotional. But for her, she didn't have no tears in her eyes.
Mhm.
Look
I
at
don't
that.
like that at all. And it's not. Like I said, I didn't like it even before I knew about the thing. I don't like it at all. I just don't feel. Ooh, I don't like it. Mm-mm.
May Allah forgive us. May Allah forgive us. May Allah forgive us.
I mean, I definitely like if Alhamdulillah, may Allah just save me from that kind of experience because I could see myself telling the person to leave my house immediately. Like I dislike it so much that I could definitely tell, I don't want any of this here. Like that's what I'm saying. It doesn't even have to do like I disliked it even before I knew the deen because for me I'm all about sincerity. I want people who are sincere and who are gonna make dua and people who are they're sincere, not people who are just making a show and actually disturbing people who are suffering already. You know, doesn't make sense to me. May Allah save us. May Allah save us. And really,
Amen, ya Rabbi.
may Allah not surround us with people like that. Allahumma amin.
Amen.
So yeah, I'll ask Imam Ahmed inshallah if he can uh, answer that question. Is it okay to keep the pictures in a photo album or something, or not at all, right?
Uh-huh.
I just know that there's definitely the opinion that only your driver's license picture, basically. And then the yeah, that's what I know. That's what I know from a strong opinion. But I will ask him if he can do something, inshallah, about it. All right, sisters, it's 7:05, way over time. So may Allah make it easy on us. May Allah preserve us, like the music and the pictures and all that. Those are things that, is so hard to be saved from that, right? Because it's everywhere. So may Allah save us. Allah save us. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت ونستغفرك ونتوب إليك السلام عليكم
Mashallah.
Wa alaikum salam.